What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Pete's Carport, and today we're going to once again discuss vibrations in the W140 Mercedes, specifically my 1995 Mercedes S500 sitting right behind me. Now, this is something we've discussed before. I've also begun changing out almost every single up front component, upper control arms, lower control arms, tie rods, ball joints, and we're going to be moving on to the other components that are up there. But a lot of you guys reached out to me and told me, check your tire pressure. Now, I've recently had new tires put on, I've had alignments done recently, and I've mentioned to them to make sure my tire pressure was correct. And the other day I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and check my tire pressure. And to my surprise, it was right around 28 PSI. And I was like, why would that be 28 PSI? That's not what people have been telling me I should have for these 19-inch rims. And is this my biggest issue, or does this really not matter? So let's step over to the car and talk about why this is so important. So first off, I just got done washing my car, and I absolutely love this car, and I'm glad I get to do a video right after washing it. It is by far my favorite car. You guys absolutely love it. It's a big part of the channel, and I love doing videos on it. So let's talk about why it was probably set to 28 PSI. So if you didn't know this already, you can open up your door, and there's gonna be a label right here that's gonna tell you which PSI to go with. And if you look here, it's 28 in the front, 29 in the rear. Now that relates to stock tires, stock rim setup, and obviously mine have been converted over to aftermarket rims, and they are 19-inch. So what I did was I decided to go down and purchase myself a really nice tire pressure gauge, since all I was using was one of these that are attached to our compressor air thing. And I could still read, I mean, it still gave me pretty accurate readings, but I wanted to get something that would be much more accurate, and I wanted to get it that day. So I ran down to AutoZone and picked up the most expensive one they had. I don't know if it's the best one out there. Would love to know what you guys are using, what has worked for you guys, and what tire pressure and rim setup you are running on your car. I really want this to be discussed heavily in the comments, because it was the biggest difference out of anything that I've done so far on this car. Now, of course, we've already changed out the suspension components, but I truly believe that because I was running the improper PSI for the rim size I had, that was resonating to the suspension components and causing a much greater vibration than I should have had, even with the bad components on there. My lower control arms didn't seem like they were that bad, and I still had a heavy vibration after changing out the upper control arms. So with all that out of the way, this is the one I picked up, and I really like it, and I'm going to show you guys how it works. But if we turn it on here, you can see it's got PSI right there. You can actually scroll through, get bar, KPA. I don't know much about that or what to use that for. And then you can set your target. So I've got mine at 40, and like I said, I tested out 37 PSI, 38 PSI, and then I went to 40. All three of those made a big difference, but so far 40 PSI seems to be the absolute smoothest ride that I have ever had on this car since owning it. And I've owned a few of these S500s. One specifically ran stock tires, and I ran stock tires on this one too, but they were no good. But I had one with really good stock tires, and it ran absolutely perfect, smooth as heck, and I did not change out any suspension components on that one. So it really upset me knowing that this one was giving me a vibration when I know how well these cars should drive. So let's go step over to the car. I'm going to show you guys how I use this, and the cool thing about it is you can fill your tires up and you can go past 40 PSI or whatever you're going to set it at, and it's got a release here to release air, and you can set your target like I have right here at 40 and release it down to that target while using it on the car. So I'm going to show you guys that real quick. So like I said, these are really easy to use. So far, I really like the accuracy of this. And what I just did was I went down to Wawa and filled it up to 40 PSI on their machine. They actually have a machine you can set, and then it'll stop once it reaches the PSI you set. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna press this in. I'm gonna use two hands so that I don't release too much air. And you're gonna press it in and hold it till it beeps, and you can see there, we're at 40 PSI. Now, if I had too much in there, let's say I pushed it in there and it was showing 42 PSI, I can hold it in there, and I have this release button that's going to release it down to my target PSI, which is really nice. So that is a really neat little device. But like I said, I just picked this up on a whim. I needed something right away. So I ended up picking this one up from AutoZone. I think I paid right around 25 bucks. But I would love to know what you guys are using. Maybe you found one that's much better, maybe it's less expensive, and I would love to pass that on to the subscribers so that they can accurately test their PSI. So once again, guys, I hope this helps somebody out there. It's obviously the least expensive way that you can try to fix your vibration if you guys are having one currently. And I really couldn't be more excited about driving this car now because it's just driving beautiful, and I absolutely love this car. Like I said, it's my favorite. Once again, guys, my name's Pete. This is Pete's Carport. You guys have an awesome day, a blessed week, and I'll catch you on the next video.